Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I've learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. And it is raining outside, and it just got really, really dark in here. So I was like, is it light enough to make a video? But it doesn't appear to be too bad on the video. Not that you guys care. Okay, I have 3 meditation books right here with me that I have not read today. The Daily Book of Positive Quotations by Linda Picone, A Journey to the Heart by Melody Beatty, and The Language of Letting Go by Melody Beatty, my all-time favorite meditation book of life. And I thought we would just go through here and see what the universe is speaking to us today. So I'm gonna bring, well, let's start with the Book of Positive Quotations by old Linda Picone here, and let's see what it says for August 5th. Oh my, this was the one that I read the other day, The Potential of Miracles. Okay, so that day was the 2nd, I think, when I did that one. So let's go back and read about bringing peace. So I switched them out. Bringing peace. First, keep the peace within yourself. Then you can also bring peace to others. Thomas Kempis. We tell our friends to calm down, stop worrying, remember that life is good. But the admonitions? That doesn't seem right. Don't mean much unless we can follow them ourselves. Finding a way to be peaceful, to accept our worries and our problems without fretting, is a constant challenge for all of us. Peacefulness is contagious though. Once we find it, it is a way of spreading on its own to others. I can create a moment of peace for myself every day, just sitting quietly and letting myself relax. This is a really good meditation for me, especially today. You know, even though I've worked so hard in the last year, and it just, you know, in my whole sobriety, you know, obviously, but specifically in the last year, I've really focused a lot on peace and serenity on a daily basis, and that's why I get up every morning and I, you know, do my prayers, do my meditations, do a gratitude list, things like that. I do positive affirmations, and that really helps me kind of get centered. I try to stay off my phone, I try to stay away from social media, you know, and all that kind of stuff, until I've kind of gotten my day started, because I need to be like balanced and have a solid foundation. Often I find that when I don't do that, when I miss even just those small things that work for me, even if it's just getting a glass of water or reading a meditation, you know, when I miss that in the morning, when I miss that spiritual connection, that spiritual foundation that I have found, I'm really just not ready for the day whatsoever. And it seems like I'm kind of battling for peace, if that makes sense, like trying to find it for my life. But it just seems like those are the days that my days are off. And today I got up and I didn't do those things today. I was kind of in a rush. I was kind of in a hurry when I got, you know, up and started today. And so I was kind of like running around trying to get things done. And, you know, I didn't get to do those things that I usually do every morning, and I could really, really feel it, you know? And when I talk about having that, you know, that spiritual foundation or that spiritual connection in your life, I don't want you to think that I mean that has to by any means be a religious thing or a spiritual thing, you know? When I say when I say spiritual, I mean of the soul. So that could be the universe or the wind or nature or whatever it is that you believe in for yourself, you know? And feeling connected to that. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to sit down and be deep in thought, meditation, or deep in prayer. It could mean that you go outside and listen to some of your favorite music, or drive around and listen to some of your favorite music, you know? Like, that always helps me get centered. Or that you just sit outside with the wind and notice nature and the birds chirping and, you know, whatever. Or maybe it's you just, I don't know, go put your, you know, back up against the wall if you live in a downtown apartment and, you know, put on some, you know, silencing headphones and just sit there for 5 minutes and just kind of find some inner peace. Maybe journaling is the way that you get connected spiritually, you know? But I think it's really about connecting ourselves to our soul. And if you do believe in a higher power, you have a higher power, it's also about getting connected to that higher power as well. And for me, that's what I do in the mornings, you know, is trying to get connected and, you know, okay, say to my higher power, whatever it is that you have for me today, that's how I, you know, want my day to go. And, you know, please allow peace and serenity into my heart. Please let me live today through a loving heart, things like that, you know? And, I know that sounds kind of cryptic and kind of crazy, and if you had said that to me 20 years ago, I would have said, no, that's not language I'll probably ever use. But today it is, you know, language that I use, and I do want to live my daily life with a loving heart, you know, and a peaceful and serene, kind, compassionate heart, you know? And that's kind of how I try to go throughout my day. For me, you know, when it talks about like bringing peace and being connected to it, I have to do the work. It just doesn't come naturally, you know? And I can tell you that any period of my life where I feel like the mania, the chaos, the toxicity is coming from me, when I look at that period of my life, there is no spiritual foundation whatsoever. There's, you know, really no emotional sobriety. Like, I'm not doing the work to get centered. And, you know, when I think about what I have to do on a daily basis, which is, you know, focus on gratitude, focus on prayer, you know, talk to my sponsor, take, you know, my sponsor's suggestions, you know, go to meetings, read things like meditation books that are so simple and take 5 minutes for me, you know. Listen to some music that, you know, for me is kind of like spiritually feeling, and that could be, for me, it could be something like the Grateful Dead or Bob Dylan, or I don't know, music that just really kind of makes me feel part of the world, and that's just what I connect to. For you, it could be jazz, it could be, you know, whatever, it could be, you know, hip hop, it could be whatever makes you feel alive inside. Music does that for me a lot, you know. It's interesting because, you know, my husband loves electronic dance music, and like that's the thing that he's most passionate about in the entire world, and you can tell that when he's listening to it or he's at a show or whatever, he's the most connected. And I think all of us on some level have that passion, that connectedness to soul, to spirit, and maybe it comes to us in different ways. And you know, it doesn't mean that we have to listen to this kind of music or that. It could be all over, you know, but we have to do the work. We have to, you know, be willing to kind of like show up for the miracle, so to speak, of, you know, of what everything. And I think also me finding gratitude on a daily basis for my life, and you know, I don't know, just getting things out sometimes and having to journal or talk to people about what's going on inside of me, and just being like, you know, like, this is what's going on today, and then getting back and, you know, thinking to myself, I should be so you know, I should be very, very grateful for the life that I've been given, because I have an amazing life, you know. And then there's peace and serenity in that, and there's peace and serenity in just for today, you know, like, I'm healthy, I'm alive, I'm sober, I have friends, I have family, I have a home, I have a car, you know, I have food that I can eat, my dogs are fine for today, and it's just kind of going through all that, and that's where the gratitude comes from, and that, to me, is where I find peace and serenity, you know? And then the next day, when some of those things aren't true, I've got a toolbox that I can use, you know, when it's like, if something does happen, if something tragic does occur, that, you know, I have tools that I can use, you know, I can call people, and I can be reminded that my life is still pretty good, and things that, life is not always gonna be 100%, it just isn't. There's gonna be really down, off days, you know? And that's okay too, because it's the bitter and the sweet, you know? We wouldn't know the joy if we didn't know the tragedy. So, okay, so that was great meditation. A little reminder. I think we all need a reminder on a daily basis about peace and serenity, you know? Let's see what is in a Codependent No More book. I think last year at this time I was reading mostly just these. So these could be repetitive. Okay, that one's about money. Let's not talk about money today. No, I just like, that's kind of like completely opposite of what I was just talking about. So let's see if on this one, The Journey to the Heart, it's similar, because I kind of like to read two meditations that are similar to each other. Okay, August 5th. Respect life. The message came soft, and the other thing I like about this book is the Codependent No More, or the Language of Letting Go, which is the Codependent No More sister book. I mean, it's good, and it shares some personal stories in here, but this is really Melody Beatty's like personal stories. Like, she shares a lot of her personal stories in here. Okay, respect life. The message came soft, and before I get into this, I just want to say, I'm probably going to start reading a lot more from this, and less from this, because last year I kind of really dedicated to this one. So, but both of them are fantastic. Okay, now here's the meditation, August 5th. Respect life. The message came softly, gently, during the sweat lodge ceremony I went to in Sedona. At the end of the evening, the shaman thanked the rocks for glowing with heat, bringing their passion to evening, symbolizing passion in our lives, for giving its life so that we could have warmth, so that we could celebrate the event. She thanked the water for cooling our throats, and she thanked God for life, for each of our lives, for our lifetimes on this planet. Respect life, all of it. The world moves so fast, it's so easy to forget to respect all that lives, all that is. We get so harried, we take life for granted. Take time to remember that all life is sacred, all that is part of creation is a creation. And the same life force moves through us all. With all its trials, tests, worries, heartaches, and sometimes heartbreaks, life is a gift. A few short years on this planet, then we are gone. Do not spend it worrying about all that has gone wrong. You'll miss the lesson. You will miss the gift of life. Respect life, all of it. Respect and honor your own. And that has a lot to do with what I was just talking about. I love that, you know? And I think it really is truly about seeing that life as a gift, you know? And, you know, with every gift that we get in life, there's going to be, you know, things that, like, maybe there's a missing piece, or, you know, maybe the toy doesn't always work or whatever. So there's going to be things that aren't great about the gift. But, you know, I think for all of us, we truly have to see it that way, or I have to see it that way, you know, that life is a gift. And that's why in my gratitude list that I do every night and every morning, or every morning, every night, I always say, you know, thank you for my life, for my sobriety, and for my health. Because those are the three things, you know, that I'm most grateful for above and beyond all else. And I've seen so many people fight for their lives, you know, whether it's in the throes of addiction or with disease, or, you know, seen documentaries about people fighting for just one more day of their life, that I don't want to take that for granted. I want to be thankful for every day that I've given, and, you know, life is not a dress rehearsal, and really, really enjoy it. So anyway, I love those meditations. What did you guys think? Put it in the comment section below. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.